Keeping track of sweaty men, nobody does it better. It's Bowen Comicbookman with wrestling news.
Hey, coming up next is Wrestling News number 90, an all TNA update, and in it, it's a police blotter special. We've got stories on Matt and Jeff Hardy. Both of them are in trouble with the law. One of them out, one of them in. Stick around, we'll let you know which one. Also, Kurt Angle has DUI problems. Swear to God he does, but he says it's something else. We're going to talk about that. Universal Studios gets a little antsy about TNA and smartphones during tapings. We'll talk about that. Ric Flair's $35,000 problem he had with high spots. And finally, Hulk Hogan, his naked daughter, and PETA. What do they all have in common? Coming up right after this.
I wish they did more thumb wrestling news. Wrestling news, episode 90. A time to pickle.
Hey folks, how you doing? Comic Book Man here. Welcome once again to my video Outhouse. It's time for
Wrestling News.
Wrestling News number 90, an all TNA update. We're coming to you from this place, Alternate Reality, which is located at the intersection of 111th and Kedzie in the beautiful city of Chicago and the lovely neighborhood of Mount Greenwood. Lovely. Alternate Reality, where all new comics are always 15% off every day for every one. I'm the one who does that. This is the man with the wrestling news, and the first story up is conclusion, the final ending to a story we have been talking about now for a year.
About a year.
About a year.
September the 30th. Yeah, we're coming up to a year.
Yeah, well, September the 30th. Yeah, okay, we're coming up on a year. It's finally over. There's finally been a resolution to it, and of course, it can only mean that we're talking about the Jeff Hardy saga. What's the final disposition of the case?
Finally, after all this time, the North Carolina courts it ended with him being sentenced to 10 days in jail.
Yeah.
He's fined $100,000, and he's been given 30 months probation. He also has to go to court-ordered rehab. Now,
Did they actually have a trial?
They actually had a trial, and after the trial,
because the problem with this thing was the trial kept getting delayed.
It was they lost their homework. Something happened. No, we found out once this is over with exactly why he was arrested in the first place.
Why?
Apparently, he met a fan.
Yeah.
Who sent him a coffee can full of
Stuff.
It got to the post office.
Herbal stuff.
Right, herbal stuff.
Herbal stuff.
It got to the post office in North Carolina.
Oh.
They opened it. They saw the pills in it.
Why was it at a post office?
Because he sent it through the mail. Yeah, he didn't go FedEx. He went to the U.S. mail. Why is the U.S. mail running out of money?
In a coffee can?
In a coffee, a Maxwell House coffee can to be exact.
Welcome to North Carolina.
So the fans sent him this stuff. They opened it. They saw it. They sealed it back up.
And they mailed it to him.
They let it. They continued the process of it being delivered to the house. Once it got to the house and Jeff signed for it,
that's when the cars showed up.
They found the coffee can full of pills, and they searched the house and found everything else. But yeah, fan is responsible.
Which is entirely possible that he didn't even know.
No, he knew because the fan actually is in Florida.
Are you sure this is a fan?
It's a fan who actually is spending.
Doesn't sound like a fan to me.
Well,
how can I screw this guy?
He thought I can get him some stuff really, really cheap.
Might not be the smartest fan.
Well, the fan has also been locked up in Florida.
I like you, Jeff. I hope this doesn't get you in trouble.
Full of pills.
Oh, God.
And take them wisely.
Jeff, it's over. Move on. That's all I can tell you.
Unless he appeals it. I wouldn't want to pay.
No, it's over.
It's over. Let it go. Move on.
I'm done. I'm already done.
Speaking of the Hardys, there's another brother named Matt who's got his own completely different set of troubles right now.
Well, since the last time we left, Matt had a couple problems. Matt was busted for a DUI. Okay, and then after he got busted for a DUI,
Hardy's in the legal system right now.
Hardy family lawyers.
The folks at TNA decided because he was busted for a DUI, he ran into something, they were going to fire him. So Matt got fired from TNA. Okay. Then about a couple weeks ago, he posted a video on YouTube which involved him. So suggested he was going to be killing himself.
Oh,
it was like a black thing, and say say goodbye and everything like this. So after the video was posted, the people in North Carolina, we're back to North Carolina. They got about 30 phone calls, and the cop showed up actually at his brother Jeff's house because the fans got the wrong house.
Oh, I'm sure Jeff was thrilled to see the police at his house again.
Right, so Jeff's wife...
Hi, what'd I do now?
Jeff's wife's really not happy with Matt right now.
Yeah.
When they got to the right house, they talked to Matt. Matt answered the door. He said, yeah, I'm fine, I'm just kidding. Since that point, he posted a video on YouTube that he's retiring from the wrestling business to become a counselor, which would have made a lot of sense, except for a couple of days ago, he got busted for another DUI.
Well, that's always good to help you out in counseling. You get busted for DUIs.
So-
Because a lot of places that are looking for counselors are looking for drunks.
Yeah, so he's unemployed, and he's posting stuff on YouTube, and apparently he can't have common sense enough to get a cab.
It
when
might
he's
be the
drunk.
world's lousiest counselor.
I don't think he's gonna.
Staying with the police files.
Yeah, let's.
Staying with the police files. Okay, we've covered Matt Hardy. We've covered Jeff Hardy. Kurt Angle, of all people, like he's never had problems with the police. Kurt Angle, of all people, has had a run-in with John Law.
And he was in Virginia.
For essentially the same
Yeah,
thing.
he was in Virginia. He was coming back home from a TNA show. He was seen by people on the road swerving between lanes, and so the cops called him. Now, the cops got him. They stopped him on the side of the road in his rental car. They gave him a sobriety test. Apparently, he was under the legal limit, but someone also said that they think he was swerving because he was texting while he was driving. Yeah, he was. Oh, look! Oh, there's the road! Oh, okay. Kurt says
Aren't there laws against texting?
there are laws
and driving?
Yeah, texting and driving is illegal in most states now.
Yeah.
Now, Kurt
And
says,
that's the reason why.
Kurt says, this is all a misunderstanding, and he thinks he was framed.
It's not my fault, I swear to
It's
God.
not my fault I was texting and
swear to
swerving while I'm driving on a road at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Next story we've got does not involve the law, but does involve potentially lawyers. The folks at TNA have warned studio audiences to not.
Well, all the TNA shows are taped at Universal Studios in Florida.
Yes.
The people at Universal Studios in Florida have told fans that they will be getting you if they find you using your smartphone to send out spoilers online. The folks at TNA didn't really have a problem with it, but the people who own the venue said no, they shouldn't be doing something.
Why do
like
they care?
Because
It's a TNA's program. It's their intellectual property.
Because in Universal Studios apparently there's certain laws against taping stuff, and talking about things. And I guess there's a behavior code in Universal Studios Florida, and this is a violation of the behavior code. Sort of like shooting someone getting tased or kicked in the nuts on YouTube or something.
It sounds awfully anal to me.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
So
if TNA doesn't care.
Yeah,
why
it's
should
kinda
Universal? Unless Universal's got some money involved in TNA beyond renting them the facility.
No.
Why should they care?
they're being anal. Now, the first time you get busted, you're told to stop. If they catch you a second time, you'll be banned from the arena for a month or even longer.
Third time.
Well, there's no third. The third time they cut off your hands.
Yeah. Yes, they cut off your hands. Now text. Now try texting.
My thing is, if you're sitting there and you're watching people on their phones and they're doing something, why are the guards paying attention to someone playing with their phone? So it means while they're watching some guy playing with their phone, some guy on the other side of the arena could be getting the crap beat out of him. But, he's over here texting. We have to stop him from texting.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy over there's bleeding. Oh, we missed him.
Yeah, well, there you go. There's security for you.
Crack security.
Next story we got, it involves Ric Flair and $35,000, I'm sorry, $35,000, and the resolution
Yes,
to the story, it's over with. The story's over with.
It's over with.
Refresh the people's memory.
Ric Flair did up before Ric Flair showed up in TNA, and while he was in the middle of
When he was still in WWE.
In his transition point, he did a bit where he had his championship belt. And he was supposed to do some shoot videos and some live appearances for a company called High Spots. When he got the job to come into TNA, he blew them off, and they loaned him a considerable amount of money. Yeah. He still owed them $35,000, which he refused to pay them, so they took him to court.
Right.
Now they got the $35,000 out of Rick, and they're also planning on writing a book about dealing with Rick and his financial issues. It's 4 ex-wives. It's a lot of alimony.
How'd they get $35,000? You got 4 ex-wives in line like this.
I'm assuming they
waiting for their money.
I'm assuming he probably did a major league advance on his TNA.
He could have kept the money if he showed up for the gigs.
Well, yeah, he could have showed up for the gigs too. He was supposed to show up for the gigs. He was also supposed to sign a whole bunch of autograph photos and stuff like that, which he didn't feel like doing, and so that's why he ended up getting himself in trouble.
Well, whose fault is that? The last story we have involves Hulk Hogan, Brooke Hogan, and PETA. That's right, PETA. People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals.
Brooke is doing a campaign for that organization.
Is this like trying to salvage her image or
Well,
something?
no. Well, her musical career is basically almost over, but I think her TV
over before
show,
it began.
Well, yeah.
She had a hit, I think.
She didn't have a hit. She had a bunch of TV appearances, and she had her own show on MTV. Brooke knows best, but now she's had a hanging out and trying to get other stuff to do.
I thought she had a popular
but on his birthday, they unveiled the photo she was using for the PETA campaign, and did unveil the photo and didn't seem to have a problem with the fact that in the photo, Brooke's not wearing any clothes.
That's what they do. And I'd rather wear nothing than fur.
But
That's the whole.
Yeah,
your dad unveiling a photo of you being naked.
This is my daughter! Look at her, she's naked!
He went nuts on the show too with her FHM photo. He was out buying all the copies of the magazine.
Well, and that happened
That's
too.
all.
And it's really, he's offended by that. But then again, his show about midget wrestling is going to be popping up on Spike next week.
Hey, Vince has been humping midget wrestling for the last 30 years. Vince has been humping that for 30 years. That's it. We're done. We're finished. We're out of here. We got no more wrestling news. But you can go to the store's website, check
And
out all
I
the wrestling
will.
news this man sends me that I post up. And where
Oh, where
is the
could
store's
the
website
website
at?
be?
Linda Hogan's house.
Oh.
Got no clothes on.
You'll feel way better about yourself. www.myalternatereality.com.
So go to the store's website, check out all his news. Till next time, this is Comic Book Man
And this is Bo.
saying bye.
Thanks, Mickey.
The Video Outhouse is brought to you by some of the finest people willing to work for free. This is a list of some of them.